Hello and welcome to my channel, Midnite Oil Software. I'm Greg, and I'm going to continue my lunchtime live stream where I'm working on my 3D space shooter game. I have my headphones on. I just want to make sure that my audio is fine, and it does seem to be. So I'm going to switch over to my monitor here. And what we were working on yesterday is we added these UI fields for the shields and hull integrity for our ship. And we verified that the shields were working fine, but we didn't seem to be taking damage to the hull. One thing I did notice, this kind of film over the screen here, you all probably noticed it immediately. I didn't notice it right away. I added this player health panel, which of course has this image. If I was to disable that, you can see that looks an awful lot better. And really, this doesn't need to be a panel at all. It's essentially just a container for these elements, and it's a place to put this script. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete this component from there because we don't need it. And the other thing that I was thinking of is I wasn't taking damage fast enough. My shields didn't go down fast enough, so I want to go into our data for the ship, and we had cranked this shield strength up really high, so I'm going to lower the shield strength to only 1,000. The other thing I want to do is go into the enemy ship manager, and right now I only ever have one enemy on the screen at a time. Let's crank that up to 5. The initial spawn interval is 10 seconds. Let's make that 5 seconds. And let's get them to spawn new ones every 15 seconds. So within a minute, we should have, if I don't kill them, 5 enemy ships shooting at me. But I will increase the minimum spawn range a little bit so they don't spawn right on top of me. So let's just go ahead and hit play and just watch me take damage. And the shield should go down fairly quickly, but I don't expect us to take any hull damage. So within, yep, I already hear the music for enemy ships. And you can see my shields are going down, down, down. And he peeled away. And here he comes in for another pass. Oh, and there's another one. So my shields are down. And they're continuing to shoot me. And it's applying force to me to make me knock around when I get hit. But it's not taking my shield or my hull down. So we know this works for the enemy ships. Because I can shoot them, I can take their shields down, and I can blow them up. Somebody said your tutorials, someday I will earn more than one phone per month, one iPhone per month. Not sure exactly what that means. I hope that means you think you're going to be making some money off your game dev. Oh, thanks to my tutorials. So yeah, hopefully you're finding them useful. I love making them, that's for sure. And it's always nice to hear that people find them helpful. So why isn't the ship taking damage? And I think obviously, since we know it's working for the enemy ship, if we were to go look at the enemy ship here, it's got the damage handler just like the player ship does. But what I think is missing, I want to find all the colliders on this enemy ship. So I'm going to say T:collider to filter everything on the enemy ship by collider. And if we select those, yeah. So this box collider here has a damage delegator. And it delegates it to the enemy ship. So I think the problem that we're seeing is that the root of the prefab, excuse me, the root of the prefab is where the damage handler is. And there's no collider on the root. And same with the player ship. So I think I need to do the same thing for the player ship. I need to add that damage delegator to all the colliders. and then drag the player's ship into the damaged delegates. Hopefully that should allow me to start taking damage on the hull after the shields go down. I'm flying backwards. I like the way my engine exhaust goes in front of the ship when I'm flying backwards. Okay, shields are starting to go down. Oh, and the hull integrity is starting to go down. All right. Ooh. Wow, the explosion force from that knocked me around, and I seem to have locked up. I wonder what happened there. Player health UI. Health percent. So I seem to have an error in there. I don't think that's what locked the game up, but on enable, update health display. I think I should make sure let me look for all my references for this damage handler, because I think the damage handler has to be initialized. So I'm going to, where did that error occur again? Line 76. Evaluate health percent. Is that a built-in Unity function? Looks like it is. So let me put a try catch. And I'm just going to catch the exception. Got to pull in namespace. So that is in system namespace. And we're going to go ahead and log that out. And that'll give us, why doesn't it like that? Oh, I know why. Okay. Now let's run it and see what that error is about. Oh, I see the error in there already. Evaluate time parameter is not a valid number. Well, that's interesting. Did it never get to here? Let's go ahead and debug. I didn't hit my breakpoint. Let me put the breakpoint here. And I hit my breakpoint. Health percent is null. Let's reset this position up to here. And let's take a look at the ship damage handler is true. And health is 0. And max health is 0. So this is actually a divide by 0 error. So yeah, the damage handler has not been initialized yet. So I'm going to add a guard clause here. And I'm going to say, oops, tell Unity to stop playing. I'm going to say if, yeah, it's so funny. Ryder knew already what I wanted to do. It knew that I want to see if max health is less than or equal to 0, to just return. All right. Looks like I can also simplify this if statement and invert it and just return. And I'm going to get rid of the try catch. Since obviously this is not throwing an exception, the error is being displayed inside this built-in Unity function. It's not throwing an exception up to me. So that's pretty pointless. All right. I still don't know why things locked up when I deleted the last enemy. So let me see if I can reproduce that. This time I'm not going to let them take my shields down. I'm just going to wait until there's 2 enemies, and then I'm going to start fighting them. Okay, there's 2 enemies. Let me go get this one. Up, and it locked up. Huh. And I do see an error in the console. Lots of errors. Target indicator. Object reference not set to an instance of an object. And the enemy ship controller also is getting that error. And it just keeps on happening. So let's look at this one first. What line did it say that was happening on? 43. find game object with tag player dot transform. Oh, I wonder, was player null there? And why is this init method getting called? This seems like a very expensive operation, and I hope this doesn't get called very often. So I'm wondering if what happened is if somehow the explosion from the enemy ship destroyed my ship, but I'm not handling destruction properly. And so when my player was destroyed, these other things were trying to reference my player, and I wasn't there anymore. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of a wild guess, but object reference not set to an instance of an object. Target dot position. I mean, I could probably just prevent these errors by saying if not target underscore target return I think what I might do instead of just returning, it's interesting, it's giving me this option here to destroy. Yeah, I should do that for sure. Okay, let me go back to where that error occurred. Well, in here, let's try this first. Say if not target and then we'll add that. And I'm going to extract this to a method. All right. That should definitely prevent those errors from happening. What were the other errors? Enemy ship controller. Yeah, that would make sense. If the enemy ship controller is trying to target me and it can't, in attack range, it's looking for the player ship and it can't find it. So I don't want to spend too much time trying to fix these things, because we're going to refactor all this anyway. Because essentially what we're going to do is we're going to create a player ship manager that's going to be responsible for instantiating the player ships, and it's going to have some events on it for player ship spawned, player ship destroyed, that anybody that cares about the player ship can subscribe to. And it can even have a reference to the current player ship that they could just call. But in fact, that's going to help us address another issue, which I pointed out in the last video. The way I added the UI elements, I put them under this UI manager here. So this player health panel, and I'm dragging in the damage handler from the player's ship. But that assumes the player's ship is in the scene, like it is here. So that's going to break whenever this ship goes away. And it's not going to work when we start spawning and despawning enemy ships. But for now, I guess I can kind of hack my way around this. And so this is saying in attack range. I could say player ship not equal to null. Do that. I'm going to put that in parentheses. And then, yeah, do that. Simplify conditional operator. Convert to explicit unity lifetime check. All right, so if the player ship is there, we're going to do this calculation. Oh, yeah, obviously, if this is null, then this part of the conditional will be false, so I don't need to add the colon false at the end. All right, and I don't know, this is probably going to blow up too if target is null, but yeah, I guess I could do the same thing here. I could just say target and same thing here. No, I'm going to have to use a conditional here. Zero? I don't know what we'd want there if there's no player ship. All right, let's see if we get any more errors. But I want to know why the player ship was destroyed, because I shot the enemy, not me. I need to make sure my projectiles don't hit me. Ah. Well, his shields are full. I want to go for the other guy. All right, what in the world happened? It looks like I have been destroyed somehow. So, yeah, obviously the player's ship got destroyed when I destroyed the other guy. But I'm not sure why that would happen. Player. I saw that my shields and my hull integrity were gone, but why would that happen? So it happened when I spawned the insanity prefab, I think. I could test that real quick by going to the prefab for the asteroids and temporarily unassigning the explosion prefab. And that way we can rule out whether or not it's the explosion prefab that's doing that. Huh, my shields went down. So I'm guessing if I was to blow them up again, I still saw an explosion being spawned there, which was kind of odd. Oh, they killed me. Well, maybe I'm just getting killed. Maybe it's not actually a bug per se. Maybe I actually am getting killed and I'm just not handling the player death yet. Oops. Did it not like that? There we go. Yeah, so I think the next thing, what I'm going to work on tomorrow is I'm going to work, or actually tomorrow's a weekend. I might not do any streaming in the weekend. But I think the next thing I'm going to work on, now that I've got those UI elements working, is I'm going to work on the player ship manager and architecting it so that it can spawn the player ship and then destroy the player ship. And while I'm at it, I'll probably go ahead and implement object pooling. I'll have to make sure everything then uses an event-based pattern for updating the UI and targeting and everything like that, because it's going to have to subscribe to an event on the player ship manager. So whenever the player ship is spawned, it can add it as its target. And whenever it's destroyed, it can remove it and handle that gracefully. And by abstracting it through an event, I'm decoupling everything so that the targets don't actually, you know, the enemy ships don't actually care about the player ship per se. It doesn't have any direct coupling to the actual instance of the player ship. Anyway, yeah, so I'm going to give some thought to that, and we'll pick up with that on the next stream. In the meantime, thanks for watching, and good luck on your game development journey.